Yeah. What episode is this? 7? Yeah. What's going on, people? This is 1166 Podcast, and I am your host, BLKZEN, BLKZEN. This is the first ever 360 VR podcast. If you love what we do, please like, subscribe, comment, leave 5-star reviews, everything. Without further ado, let's get to the content. Crypto indicates a new type of thing because we're used to centralized systems, right? We're used to...
No, I think the concept of crypto, I wholeheartedly believe in it.
It's on point, but there needs to, one, be more eyeballs, and two, just more scrutiny.
But that's the thing, you can't regulate it because then it's not crypto anymore.
I mean, it can be regulated in certain ways, but just not in centralized ways. So, for example, KYC, right? That KYC shit, you can't do much about that because it defeats the purpose of something being encrypted if you have to put those extra IDs. But if there are certain limits, so for example, if a whale wants to come in and buy, 1,500 ETH, it would be awesome if there are certain metrics where you can't just pull that out because you will fuck with the market. You can't just throw all that money in, you can't throw it all out. But there aren't limits like that. You can go as high as you want, and then whatever country you're pulling out of, you got to take that up with their own taxation offices. Like with Coinbase, you know what I mean? You could pull out 1.5 mil on Coinbase, but now Coinbase is linked with the IRS, so they're gonna say, "Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, what's up with that? Where's our piece?" So I don't know. Like there needs to be more market regulation, but automated market regulation, not like from physical people. Because you could regulate the crypto market, like in certain ways, because it's all blockchain. The blockchain, like when you have the smart contract determines the rules. So there is no middleman. So as long as everybody is using the different smart chains in a way that promotes equity and promotes like people not being able to just come in and come out with all the money, which they started doing like last year. I saw like last year, 2021. But it's like too little too late because people are already throwing a shit ton of money, pulled out a bunch of money. And now you see like as the stock market's going down, crypto's going down, shit's different. At this current moment, though, things are starting to come up. But who's to say it won't happen again just like the stock market unless there are certain regulations in place in the smart contracts to prevent that, you know?
But that's the nature of markets. They go up and down.
They do, but the good thing about this is that unlike like with the SEC and all that kind of stuff, there are no vested interests for crypto in itself. There are people who are going to manipulate the system, but if the coding is on point, people can't manipulate the system. That's the beauty of it. But people are playing off of those exploits. Like for example, remember with the Wall Street bets thing and GameStop, like Robinhood did something illegal. They literally stopped people from buying and selling. That's interfering with people. Like that's straight up illegal.
Yeah, but that was a large group of people manipulating the market.
But that's because it's like you can manipulate the market, but the systems in place as a response, like because it's centralized, there's not much that can be done because it's one central location. If there are people trying to manipulate the market and the whole system, which is automated, is responding to that accordingly 24/7 and being on it.
Yeah, but the only reason why Robinhood reacted like that is because some of their investors were hedge fund people that were losing their fucking shirt.
You see that?
So you know what I mean? Listen,
that's what I'm saying, but crypto doesn't have that issue in general as a whole. You know what I mean? Like certain crypto, coins,
and that's the beauty and the demon of crypto. You know, you gotta take the good with the bad. You know,
if we have more infrastructure for crypto, I'm pretty sure it'll go a very long way. But there needs to be infrastructure because right now,
I don't think there can be, man. There's too many.
I mean, a lot of countries are adopting it. Like, you don't need all of crypto. All you really need is Bitcoin, ETH.
I know, but every day another crypto pops up.
But we're not worried about the altcoins because it's not like with stocks or IPOs. Like, anybody can make a coin, but the main utility coins, I'm just speaking about those. Like, more countries are adopting them as methods of payment, like valid methods. Every however many weeks, a new country's accepting Bitcoin as a new thing, and accepting ETH as a new thing. So,
you still going?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Crypto.
A little 31, 32 minutes. But yeah, it's just wild. We can speak more on crypto and whatnot too, but yeah,
I'll be honest. I'm happy I got out when I got out. It was fun for a while, but
I want to get in. I want to get in more now, like because
it was just the wild, wild west. And you know what it is when platforms would just break or fall apart. It's like then you lose money. It's just I don't know, man. It was too much of a shit show for me, man.
I mean,
but I saw somewhere Binance is like closed up shop to US or something. Something just happened with them recently. No,
Binance is good.
I don't know.
FTX is fucked. I mean, they got a new person now who's like seeing what's up and seeing that it was all just a lot of like lobbying for FTX. But Binance,
I'm just saying.
People need cold wallets though.
You can't rely on the
exchanges.
Yeah, because they could just lock you out, and then what are you gonna do?
But here's the thing: even though it's the Wild West and crypto is about independence, if somebody's going into this thing with an independent mind, they got to take care of their assets on some independent level. Like people are leaving their money on exchanges. To me, that's irresponsible because there are cold wallets that exist. If somebody's smart enough to say, okay, I'm gonna go buy ETH, I'm gonna go buy this, I'm gonna go buy that, they got to be responsible because they're going into something.
I'll be honest, I never had a cold wallet.
Yo, cold wallet is because when you have a cold wallet, you're chilling. It's like if the exchange goes down, I still have my assets. I don't care, like you know.
Yeah, but it's also hard to trade.
No, it isn't.
No, don't you have to throw it back into an exchange and then?
No, you can buy and sell. You can buy and sell coins from a cold wallet.
But on an exchange is where you get those particular rates or prices. No.
No, it's the same. This is the exchanges are more popular. The cold wallet, like the exchanges are free. You know, it's a free site you're going on. The cold wallet, you're paying for a physical device. That device has its software, but it leads back to this physical device. So how do I if something's like mooning, how do I get it from my cold wallet and sell it? You just sell it on the wallet. Like for example, on Ledger, to the market. Because remember, it's a blockchain. It interacts directly with the blockchain. Huh. It doesn't have to go to. It doesn't have any middle people. It's just blockchain. So with digital exchanges, it's like blockchain, digital exchange. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here, you can just put that in the middle. Yeah. With the blockchain, it's digital. So with the digital exchanges, it's interacting with the blockchain. Then the blockchain interacts with the exchange, and the exchange reports to you what you have. The only difference between that and a cold wallet is that it's blockchain, your personal cold wallet. No exchange, no keystrokes and remembering passwords. It's just your assets directly interacting with blockchain. You don't need exchanges. Sure. It's just that exchanges are much more accessible. To tell somebody, oh, you got to pay $120 for this device and whatnot, it's like, nah, that's already too much of a commitment. But you know, like, you can go make a Coinbase for free, make a Binance for free. So that accessibility is the trade-off for the accessibility is security.
Yeah.
You know, if you pay for the security, it's chill. It's very chill. And you get cheaper fees too.
I'm sure, but I think that's like you nailed it. People will pay a premium for security. Much as that word can even be used in the crypto world, but you know.
People pay a premium for security. These exchanges and all this stuff, it's like it like NFTs and all this other stuff, yeah, they're nice, but
I didn't even get into those.
Cryptography in itself and cryptocurrency, it represents something fundamentally that I feel like a lot of people don't get, and they just take like bits and pieces of the different things under the umbrella. But in itself, it's about you having control, and when you have control, it's pros and cons, you know. But that's where just doing homework on it comes into play, and just I feel like if more people were like actually educated on crypto, more people would be in mind to have infrastructure for it. The more infrastructure we have, the more it's prevalent in people's lives. The more prevalent it is in people's lives, the more it sticks around, because everything is a story, you know. The US dollar is not on the gold standard anymore. It's just a story we believe in. Like at the end of the day, if enough people believe in the story, it becomes true.
Yo, whatever happened to Crypto Bobby?
Oh God,
is he still alive? Remember that guy? Yo, I used to watch him every day, man.
Crypto Bobby.
I haven't. Remember we made that song?
Yeah. I got the crypto blues again.
Yo, freaking Crypto Bobby, man.
I woke up and everything.
Yo, those crypto
right.
YouTubers were awesome, man. I really liked them.
They stacked up cake.
What?
They got cake. They got money just for like talking crypto.
Yeah, but I'm saying when the
money.
market tanks, what do they talk about? They have to switch it up.
They talk about just
you know who I bumped into? You remember? Did you ever watch that dude Vincent Briatore? He was a crypto guy too.
Who's that?
Vincent Briatore. I don't know. He was a crypto guy. I used to watch I somehow bumped back into him, and he doesn't talk anything about crypto anymore.
Wow.
He's become like one of those alpha male top G.
Oh Lord, no.
You know,
this is one guy called Son of a Tech. He's good. He's a GPU miner, but he's always bringing crypto news. He gives projections of certain crypto, but that's like a minor thing in his page. He'll like sit down and talk about what's actively happening day to day. Like he's on it. He's good. And I know he's making money. Like when you're giving financial shit, crypto stuff, like the CPV on YouTube, like the money you get off of like the ads and whatnot is higher. It's a higher bracket. Yeah. Financial stuff gets the most, I believe. Financial stuff and something else, but yeah, financial advice gives big.
Yeah, I haven't watched those in a while, man. I used to go to sleep listening to crypto YouTube channels, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just mining what I mine, get in a little bit here and there, and it's like my stuff is going up, so I'm like, okay. As much, because when we listen to society is going to tell us the exact opposite. The fact that crypto is this low right now, I'm like, all right, cool. Because even though crypto took a dip, ETH is still 1,600.
Yeah, nice.
Bitcoin is still 20 racks. Like,
yo, Litecoin just never made it out of what, $200-300?
Yeah, they didn't hit that. Because before it was Bitcoin, ETH, Litecoin.
Yeah,
it was like the three.
Litecoin, as long as I've known, it's always hovered around like $200.
But Bitcoin is like the OG, so it's always gonna go up. But ETH did a lot of work.
Yes.
ETH did.
What about Doge, bro?
Yeah, but ETH did utility. ETH has
I know, but I'm saying as far as value, the fact that every once in a while I get alert and it's like 9 cents.
Yeah.
Dude, that used to be .00000. It was like nothing. It literally was a joke.
I've been thinking about mining Doge for a little bit, just while it's low, because Doge, a lot of these crypto too, ironically, it's like they'll go up and come down like stocks. Yep. So right now it's a low in general for the market. So if we're getting in low, it leads to some good. What time is it?
It's 8.
Shit.
I can go ahead.
I mean, I can't meet you. What time are they leaving?
I mean, I don't know.
They're not gonna leave for like maybe like at least 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. As soon as I'm done, I shall hit you up.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Crypto. I got the crypto blues again. I feel like a lot of too why in America there's a lot of institutional opposition to crypto is because of that whole taxation thing. There's who do you corrupt? If this thing exists and it's just a thing on its own, an automated entity, there's nobody to corrupt. There's nobody to talk to and get some background kind of stuff. You need to talk to the coders, and the coders still can't do anything because the blockchain is immutable. So there's that, and people like Uncle Sam wants a cut of everything.
Bro, I think
Uncle Sam doesn't understand crypto in general. Like these older motherfuckers, they're not in the mental state for it. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? It's a joke to them. But it's
I think crypto and AI, when they
merge,
and they what is it called when AI becomes conscious? What is that?
Oh, general artificial intelligence.
No, but it's a point. Oh my god.
Singularity.
When it hits singularity, man.
Yeah. When AI becomes so conscious, AI is that's more along the lines of like a general artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence, when we break down what that is, right now what we know as artificial intelligence is like machine learning, for example. Machine learning is done with a specific purpose. You train data, a particular type of data, for a particular series of tasks, but a general AI makes its own inferences on everything, and we're not at that point. But ChatGPT is the closest thing we have to a general AI. As we get closer and closer to that, having these cryptocurrencies will be useful, because when those two merge, that'll kind of be like going to an AI casino, for example, where the house wins, but the house is actually fair and the house is a machine. There's no you getting in and getting cool with people who run the house. No, the house is its own thing, and its interest is to provide fair rules, fair playing, because
depending on who does the code, fair for who.
But the thing is, in crypto, this code is open source, so if there are inconsistencies, everybody can see it, and there are a lot of talented coders in the world. If we're talking about an open source thing, any biases will be spotted. That's the beauty of open source, Open source, everybody's checking. We all know if it's bullshit. We all know if it's on point, and it will get reported. So when AI mixes with crypto, that'll be different because we no longer have to have these middlemen. You know, the only reason that centralized systems still work is because we have more faith in these middlemen and these people who we've built rapport and relationships with for generations. Right? This crypto thing is new and people are resistant to change. But if this AI for people in their minds position itself to be more objective than humans. Overall, for people, if it proves to be more objective, I honestly think that that'll be the real beginning for crypto to go up. So that's why now I'm getting in, because crypto's not dead. It's dropped 50-60%, but 50-60% of a run. It's still higher than years ago.
It'll come back up. Everything comes back up.
It'll always come back up, but I hear people saying, "Oh, it's dead." But I'm like, have they gone to CoinGecko? Have they really looked at the prices?
But dude, crypto has been declared dead how many times in the last decade that's been around?
Yeah, that's why I'm getting it now. When the hype is down, this is the time.
I feel like it goes like in what? 3-year waves, 4-year waves. Like,
yeah, I remember 2017,
it does a run,
2018,
and then it freaking dies, and then it resuscitates and it goes even further.
Yeah,
that's what happens. It just keeps kind of pushing out, and then it sinks.
But it stays in this upward fashion. Like, it'll go crazy, go down 60%, but it's still higher than what it was initially. Then go up, go down, and go. And it's the thing is, it's playing off of people's emotions in those movements. So right now we're at a low point. So now I'm getting stupid. When people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, you gotta invest in crypto. Did you invest?" I'm gonna be like, yeah, just chilling.
Well, that's what drives that market. It's sentiment. Mm-hmm. When it's down, people don't mess with it. As soon as it starts picking up some traction,
people start going crazy,
and everywhere starts crypto. Then people start jumping. Not just people that are on the sidelines, but new people.
Yeah.
And then that momentum is what pushes it into new heights. Mm-hmm. But then the cliff is always coming.
Yeah.
And it's like a stampede of buffalo. You know, as soon as one starts dropping, it's like everything just falls, man. And it's like such a. And if you don't get out on time, man, you get burned, and then sometimes you just don't want to mess with it for a long time.
The beauty of it is that cliff is really high. As we're going up that cliff, wherever the cliff ends, before we get to the next cliff, it's usually not as low as the first starting point. You know, it's never really that as low. So, in that free fall, I feel like the goal is just to be really up. Like, it's a lot of profit. We're falling a little bit. All right, let me bust the parachute. It's cool.
That's the gambling aspect of it, because you don't know how high is high and how low is low.
That's why I'm looking at the big time frame. Like right now, objectively speaking, this is a low point for crypto right now. So I'm like, all right, cool. This is a great time. It's gonna go up.
Yeah.
How much? How fast? We may never know. But that's the beauty of just putting in money and just not think about it. You know?
Exactly.
I think back on 2017. I'm like, shit. I wish I put more mony. It didn't make me FOMO in when it was high, but like now I'm like, oh yeah, we've gone through this game with crypto a couple times, so it's like,
you know why? Because we would catch a couple of runs and make some bread, and want that to be every time, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, we gotta ride the wave.
Those are anomalies. Those are, but the thing is, you're like, yeah, but if I pick correct, I can hit a run every time. And that's not the case.
There's still that gamble element.
Exactly.
You know, because it can't be dealt with off of straight logic. It has to still be there still has to be an acceptable amount of chance computed in this logic.
You know how many times you wake up and it's like a bloodbath, or like you made like a couple of grand overnight. Like, you just don't even know.
Right. You just don't know.
You know, so, but you mostly react emotionally.
Yeah.
And that's the nature, because you don't want your wallet to bleed out.
Yeah.
So then you start freaking out and start selling off, which is the worst thing to do.
Because the minute you sell, you lose. That's it. Game done.
Exactly.
As long as you're still in, you still got skin in the game, you can rise.
It's so hard.
It's tempting because you see your money go down.
You really need to, dude. It took a while before I could train myself. Be like, no, actually, now I have to buy in more, which is counterintuitive. It's like, what? I just lost 3-4 grand, and now I'm gonna put more money in. Am I insane? But that's what you got to do, because
scared money don't make money.
Money's gone.
It plays on people's fears, and scared money don't make money. So
it's true, man. It is. It's an exciting game, man. And I'll never forget the run that I took with Ripple.
Oh yeah,
I was in
you
Mexico,
were
bro.
in Ripple.
I got in. I think it was like 33 cents.
Shit.
And I was in Mexico, so like I had to depend on whatever Wi-Fi was by the hotel I was staying at. And I remember, I just kept checking my phone. I couldn't believe it. Like it went. I think it in a day it peaked like at $3 and change.
What? How much was it before when you bought it? How
I
much
bought
did
it
you
at
buy
like 33 cents.
Jesus Christ! You saw your money 10x plus.
And I'm there in Mexico, like freaking out, like, oh my god. And dude, at that time, no one knew crypto, XRP.
It's a W's a W.
And I took a lot of the money out, but exactly. So now my expectation is I want to make that run every time.
Yeah.
And that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You sometimes you catch a wave and you could ride it out, and you it's like you get a dub, but that's not gonna be every time, man.
Yeah, it's not, and it's okay. But it's just more about us.
But this was I was so new to it. Like then the minute that I took a hit, I got scared.
Yeah.
Because like what? Wait, this is supposed to happen.
Right.
I invest money and I make 10x. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Crypto Bobby, what did you do?
Crypto Bobby, you lied to me.
That's because exactly then you become obsessed watching videos, listening to podcasts, and I was like, okay, all I have to do is get enough information so I could pick right again.
That's what it is. A lot of people overdose on information to try to justify the emotional decision, instead of like just looking at the info and just thinking like logically, like cool-headed, you know.
Because you want that thrill, man. You want to be a winner. I think everyone in life wants to be a winner at anything they undertake. So
it is, but it's about patience. Like what we were talking about earlier. It's like I feel like music taught me patience. Music is definitely the main thing that taught me patience in life. It's okay to not be on point quick, because the goal is for that long-term success, and there could be long-term success in anything, in crypto, in the stock market, in whatever, as long as there's patience in mind. That quick return normally blows up in people's faces.
I think that's so in every aspect of life.
Patience. Everything has a calibration period. Some calibration periods I personally think are faster than others, but everything's calibration period is what it is.
But you know what? You learn that with experience. So like you said, similarly to music, it's like when you first start making music and like off rip, you make something hot or something, you're like, okay, so this is kind of what it is. Every time I sit down and I pick up an instrument, but it's like, no, you might have runs, and then you might have dry periods, and the longer you do anything, you realize that's just the nature. That's just the nature of the muse. That's the nature of the spirit. That's the nature of the universe. Sometimes it gives you a lot, and then sometimes it goes away, and you have to be okay with that. And that's time to acquire new information. That's a time to sharpen your sword. Yeah. So that way, the next time that wave comes around, you're ready to chop it up.
Yeah, it's like we're vessels, and we have to be the best vessels. And what better way for a vessel to show reverence to what it will be a vessel to than by preparing? Instead of panicking, oh my God, it's not here. Why aren't you here yet? The muse doesn't want to hear that. That ethereal other element doesn't want to hear that. It just, when it comes, we just got to be ready. And if we're not ready, it leaves and it goes to somebody else. And now the person wonders, why hasn't it come back to me? It's because you were being a shitty vessel. Why would you know what I mean? You got to prepare for the gifts.
It's true.
It's that saying, if you want to accept a gift with two hands, you have to let go to be able to accept more. And a lot of people are just so caught up with what they have that they're afraid to just get the next blessings.
Blessings, brother. That's what it's all about, man. And every day is a blessing.
Oh, yes.
And it's full of so many blessings. And when you're able to see that, your life transforms, you know.
A lot of people look at life in a very bleak and dark way. I look at life and I have there are dark things in the world, but it's still a beautiful world with a lot of beautiful people, amazing things that the news won't show people. No. Social media won't show people. Clicks. It's clicks. News, like, it's funny because as much as like newer generation bash news, it's media, and social media is still media. It's media. It's just taking on a new life, new type of neurological hijacking, new type of attention and focus jacking, but it's the same game. It's the same game of keeping people tuned in and programmed a type of way. And I remember when you were telling me about you taking a break from social media.
I'm still off.
It's funny, unintentionally, I don't really go on. So I check DMs and stuff here and there, but I'm so caught up in just creating music and doing these podcasts. And it's giving me, I'm just learning so much. And obviously languages and shit, but I'm learning so much by doing it.
But exactly. Think about when you free up. I mean, if you ever look at your screen time, like
I do.
When you're, I mean, I was hitting 9 hours, 10 hours. Like how is this possible?
Shit.
You know, and now to drop down to sometimes 3, 2 hours, like that's literally 5-6 hours of my day
That you're getting back.
that I have back to read, to play guitar, to make music, to connect with friends, to do all kinds of stuff,
To live.
to be present. To that before, the number one thing people say, oh, I don't got enough time.
It's cap.
Check their
it's
phone.
Allocation.
Check their phone. Guaranteed. You see how much time they're on there playing around with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever the hell it is. You'll see how much time they could potentially have.
It's a guilty pleasure, and I feel like a lot of people are
It's an
paying
addiction,
that
bro.
consequence. Yeah.
It's an addiction. It's literally people. We're dopamine addicts, man.
Yeah.
We are addicted to social media. It's like a crack pipe. It's
is.
got us bad, bro.
I think it's. I would argue that it's worse. The reach of this opposed to crack is different. This is promoted. Crack was never like promoted as a thing in mainstream society. There are TikTok ads and Instagram ads and Twitter ads and your favorite celebrities, this and favorite artist and favorite athlete, that. They're all on these social media devices. It's like if there was one drug that every person you ever loved is just like, oh my God, you have to use this. This is awesome. And they're just forcing it on you.
It's like the pharmaceutical companies, like we were talking about before. All those drugs, you know, for all these kinds of things. All of a sudden, you know, if you know, huge companies were making billions of dollars, you think they would care? You think these people actually care about people's mental health?
Hell
you think
no.
the drug companies care about people's mental health?
Treatment is always more profitable than a cure.
The pain management, the opioid crisis, all that. You think those companies actually care about people?
I think they care, but they care to keep us needing. I think they do care.
All right, think about this. I don't even know for sure, but just imagine all the drugs out there.
Yeah.
That they're constantly, because it's like any other product that they're constantly putting out. Not all of them stick. Meaning, not all of them gain traction for whatever. So
they're testing the waters.
Exactly. So the ones that hit, those are the ones that, oh, okay, people are reacting to this, or doctors or psychiatrists or therapists are prescribing this. Okay, let's keep pushing these. And then yet there's probably dozens or hundreds of other drugs that just never got any traction, so they go by the wayside. So these companies, they're
looking for numbers.
They're looking to follow the trends, just like social media companies.
Yeah,
what's getting the clicks? Negativity, scandal, this and that. So they're going to follow whatever the trends are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like
it's a game.
Chicken and the egg. Does a pharmaceutical company really care to get you healthier? Or do they want you to get hooked so that they can keep making that money?
But when we think about it, right, pharmaceutical industry is an industry. By the nature of the wording of it, it's not natural. It's an industry. It's a structure, the artificial structure. The only thing that cares about us enough to give us the cure is nature. That's the only thing. And that's in every aspect. Physically, all the plants are here.
You know what I think is beautiful?
Mentally, you know, like going out and getting actual daylight, vitamin D, you know, just being one with earth and being grounded and not having shoes all the time and touching soil and shit. Like,
to that point,
surfing, like when you were surfing and feeling and understanding about life. Like,
or yoga. So I practiced yoga for like almost 15 years. And yoga is actually the oldest medicine. So
I need to try. I need to actually sit down with yoga. Fuck, I gotta do it.
For hundreds and thousands of years.
Yeah.
Yogi masters back in the day, if you had something that ailed you, a pain, an ache, whatever.
As you say this, I'm gonna do my push-ups.
Yeah, a yogi master would give you postures to do to cure, whether it's like you had some kind of abdominal pain or whatever. The yoga master would recommend these 4 or 5 postures, 10 times a day, whatever, to cure whatever ailed you. Are they going to be able to see you down there on the 3D?
Yeah.
By the way, I heard you on Adam's podcast, man. That was dope, dude.
Yo, that podcast was deep.
You know, I really
asked me some questions.
I really needed to hear that.
You heard the whole thing?
Yes.
It was deep. No, it was a really good
because
talk. It was a really good talk.
When you guys were talking about, you know, when we all first met and what a special time that was, you know, it's like, and it's funny because I even texted him about it. I'm like, you know, I never take any time to like really to reflect and or to celebrate any things that I've done, because I'm always so focused on
the next
forward.
thing. Yeah.
And hearing you guys like talk about that made me just be like, yeah, man, it was so serendipitous of all of us to meet, and all the stuff that we did together, the music, the creations, the space, all the stuff that happened just completely organically. That was such a unique and singular moment in time. But of course, at the time when we're all living it, we're just like, this is just how it is. This is what's meant to happen. We're just doing this.
Look back at it right after the world goes to shit, and we're just like, wow, that was actually a miraculous time.
It was because you couldn't
make it up.
You couldn't put all those people together in one path if you tried to find them.
Yeah,
like it just happened. And the fact that we don't even really know how any and or all of us met is so interesting.
It's a blend, but that's how you know.
Because even Adam was like, "Yeah, I think I met Steve first, but I'm not sure how I met him."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't even know how I met Adam. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things.
It becomes less relevant. It's like, I don't know how.
Because
I know this person. That's what matters.
But you want to know something?
Yeah.
And that's so distinctively an artist's mind.
Yeah.
We are not concerned with the time, the dates, the who, the whys, the whens. It's about the feeling. It's about the energy. That's what we remember. Mm-hmm. That's what brings our memories back to those moments.
Yeah.
Some people are great with dates.
What? It's not the when, it's the what. What is it?
It's that feeling. Because we move. We're like you said, we're vessels, we're receptors, so we move to frequency, you know. So that's what imprints into our minds, a frequency. When there's a disruption, and when there's a new frequency that vibrates and catches our antenna's attention, that's what we remember. Not when, who, how, whatever. It's just a frequency that we're drawn to, and then it starts to gain more and more traction, and then all of a sudden, boom.
That definitely is what you described it as, an artist brain. Because people ask me certain names of actors and celebrities and all that and songs. And I'm like, yo, play the song, because I'll know it based off of how it feels. My brain is very logical in other ways, but not for stuff like that. Definitely that what you described, an artist brain.
Because like exactly, like I consider myself like a huge Frank Ocean fan or a huge Prince fan. I don't know every single one of their songs. I probably don't even know maybe more than 10 or 15 of their songs, but it's the feeling that they give.
The ones that you know.
But also it's like a fan will tell me, oh, you don't know this song, that song. I know every lyric, this date, that date. But I don't experience...
You're an artist.
...music in that way. Same. You know what I mean? I experience it in like the feeling that I get from it, the energy that I feel, and that's something that either inspires me or that makes me want to, you know, match that energy or kind of delve into how do I tap into that frequency myself, you know?
I find this weird thing that happens to me, because I was talking to Kid about this too. Like for me, I would view myself musically as somewhat. Not somewhat. I'm ignorant musically. Like there are a lot of things that I just don't know musically, and I'll just do it, and then somebody would tell me, "Oh, you got this kind of blah 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 vibe," and I'm like, "I never heard of that person. I have no idea what you're talking about." And I actually enjoy it because I know that it just came from here, and it just so happened to be relatable to somebody where they can relate another artist to it. And it always reminds me that we all come from this one creative source. The same source that told me to do a certain idea the way I did it is the same source that told this other person from a whole different time period to do it the way they did it. And things just overlap. It's crazy. Like I find it very beautiful how we have that source. To me, that's a testament of it. Because it's happened too many times to me.
We're all mining from the same well.
It's the same well.
It's a universal thing. So artists from all over the planet, we tap into the same source.
Yeah.
You know? We might be tapping into a particular, wave or part of the well or the pool.
Yeah.
But it's all from the same source. You know what I mean? And I think that's why, like we were talking earlier, I think that's why artists and creatives we connect so easily because we're
close to that well, and we're miners. We're mining in that well, so we already know what the vibe is.
We've evolved to be able to tap into that frequency.
Yeah.
So in terms of evolution, we're sort of the same species.
We are.
Transcendent of race, nationality, sex. It's funny, when I was younger, I used to always feel that way. I'm like, we're like a different breed of human.
I honestly believe that. So have you heard of the Younger Dryas theory?
Yes.
Right? So the Younger Dryas theory suggests that there was a cataclysmic flood that happened, but before that, humans lived up potentially tens of thousands of years before, and have had their own sect of science with their own advancements and whatnot.
A super advanced civilization.
But there were many types of humans living at that same time. I think we're in a similar time now where there are some humans who are living, and it's not to say that, some humans are more advanced and above others, but just deviations of what humanity is. Some people are more grounded in fundamental traditional aspects of money, linear, play my role, but other people are asking more, and I feel like there's becoming more of an influx of people of that thought that there is more, and what is it to be human, and looking out into the stars and thinking, what are we doing as a people? Like that extra thought, I think, is that step towards a particular next step of humanity that is in favor of humanity's preservation. Because there are sects of humanity, I think, on this planet that will lead to the destruction of humanity as we know it.
And we're the balance, we're the counterbalance.
We're on the side of
like everything in the universe,
keep us alive.
We're the yin or the yang to that.
Exactly.
There's always the balance.
The good can never get tired. Evil don't get tired.
No.
For example, evil never get tired, but there's a time and a place for everything.
And trust me, I've been feeling so much more in my good than I ever have in my life, and it's so wonderful, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing this new thing where I'm trying to make at least 5 strangers per day smile.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, I want to try to, whether it's by just saying a compliment, doing a nice gesture, just do something.
You just be smiling at them.
Just do something just for the purpose of making someone I don't know feel good.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went to eat at this place. It was called Berlin Donor in the West Village.
Yeah.
And I just struck up a conversation with this guy who also ordered one, and we were talking about traveling, and I told him, I saw it because, I had just been in Germany, and the donor there is the best in the world. And we were talking about where we've been and whatever. And then as I'm walking out, I had the impulse. I'm like, what if I paid for his meal?
Oh, that's nice.
Like, I didn't know his name. It wasn't like, yo, let's hang out.
No, you weren't doing it with the purpose of getting something later.
So,
you were just being nice.
I'm like, why don't I just start going with these impulses?
Yeah.
So I paid for his meal, and I walked out. Didn't tell him. I don't know what, when he walked out, his reaction. But that's
those are
not
the moments in books where he might be an author and say, "Oh, I struck up this amazing conversation with this guy," and that's part of his life. That's part of.
But just the fact that I probably made his night even for a little bit, and it's probably the story he will tell someone else and be like, "Yo, man, I was eating, and this dude, I just started talking, and he paid for my, my donor kebab,
and just disappeared."
Yeah, and I'm like, that's cool, man. I feel cool. I feel good doing shit like that.
I think I love doing that kind of thing too. Of just.
I noticed that you're like that a lot too, man.
I love it because
you always give people compliments. You're always positive around strangers, around people, around everyone. And I'm like, yeah, man, we all can be like that.
We can. There's no reason not to. And if the worst that could happen is somebody rejects the kind offer, okay, whatever.
You know what? So far, my experience, it's never happened.
It doesn't happen to me either, but that's the response that I've heard. Oh, it's hard to be like that in New York, and
no,
I'm not gonna.
But you know, that's probably coming from someone who hasn't tried. Because when you do it, you realize
it's very chill.
You realize people
are accepting of it.
If you give someone a compliment, like on their sneakers or on their style, the way they're dressed, they feel good because you know what? As a human being, like especially in New York, they put some thought into what they put on, and the fact that someone recognizes it because we're in New York, what?
It makes them feel good. It's like, wow.
But because we're in New York and it's very unexpected, because in New York we get this.
You think somebody's trying to do something. It's like, what's your angle? What is that?
So we're New Yorkers are known for being defensive.
Yeah.
Meaning that they have a guard up, the wall
yeah.
up, because they're thinking you want something from me. But I realized that since I've been on this recent path and journey, I've changed my energy so that people vibe off of energy. And I think we might have talked about this. It's kind of it's kind of like a dog. If you're afraid of dogs, that when you approach a dog, the dog will go bananas.
Exactly.
Because
it knows, it smells it on you.
Exactly.
Knows,
Now, someone that loves dogs, has dogs, whatever, when they approach that dog becomes a puppy and lets him pet it and starts licking his face. Human beings the same way. They sense energy.
They do. The closest. So I've had people, what I would consider reject my kind offers, but it's rare. But when it happens, it tends to be in a way where they just don't know how to feel. Like something good happened to them, and just like, and they take a minute and they're like, thanks. You know, I feel like those experiences, though, I can't even consider those rejections, because I feel like those people probably needed it more than anybody else. Because they're probably doing mental math later on, like,
There you go. They, like you said, they probably didn't know how to
take it. It's like, people don't do this to me. You're just being nice to me. People nice to me.
But then, like you said, maybe 10, 15 minutes down the line, now they have a smile and they have an extra pep in their step because of that. That initial contact might have taken them aback, because, like you said, it's something they're not used to or is completely foreign to them. But I guarantee you that they probably still felt pretty cool afterwards, you know?
I mean, I just do it without thinking about it, to be honest. Cause
and you want to know something?
I don't care. Like,
that's why I make it a point that I said to myself to try to do it to at least 5 people, because I want it to become to the point that
you just can't care. You can't care.
It's just no, but it's also that it's just natural.
Yes.
It's not about like, okay, I haven't said it. It's just, that's just how I am. When I enter any space, any room, I want to be able to be that person that I just want to uplift the energy of the place I'm in, of the people I'm with.
Yes.
And for no other, you know what I think people react to is if you're doing it with some ulterior motive.
Of course. If you're
that's what people get defensive about. But if you're doing it because that's what your spirit calls for, and that's kind of the energy and the vibration you're on, people take it in a very different way.
But I feel like it also depends on where that person is. Because if you're vibrating on a high frequency and they're vibrating a little bit too low, it'll cause them cognitive dissonance, but it also provides them a means to raise their energy a bit. And they'll feel it. They'll know. They'll go, cognitive dissonance, but I feel better. What the hell? And you know what I mean? It is what it is, but we just gotta keep vibrating, because we're batteries that have no end. That's one thing that I've learned to accept. Being nice to people and all that kind of stuff. There's no end to the feeling of it. When it comes from a real place, the battery is limitless. It's limitless. You can just keep going and going and going and going, and people are just like, okay, damn. And
you know why?
It affects them
because
it's we're not making energy. We're just
but it's sustaining.
It. Yeah.
Being angry, being defensive, you get exhausted. Like you're saying about this energy that
it's heavy. Being nice is light.
You ever hear those people, or maybe you yourself, where you come home and you're exhausted, you're like, damn, I had such a fucked up day or such a tough day, because you're expended all this energy being angry, being frustrated, living in these negative emotions. That's why you feel exhausted.
I feel like that used to happen to me. Like,
I'm just saying,
when I was
something
in
that
school,
we all know.
that really happened. That was when it happened, because I didn't want to be in school.
Yeah.
Like, but once I finished with college and all that kind of stuff, I was just much happier, because it's like music has always been a part of my life, and that's just what makes sense to me with the world. So even when I see people who are going through it and they're having a bad day, I don't feel the need to be mad at them, because not everybody found that peace.
I don't get mad.
I found my peace early, and I'm fortunate, but a lot of people just go through their life, job, work, people they don't really like too much, sleep, wake up, repeat. That's a crazy existence, and it doesn't leave room for personal development, personal growth, asking deep introspective questions as to who I am, why am I even on this planet, but they're just giving their best years and time and energy to something that they're not fully committed to. So I don't know, because of that, I look to people, especially when they don't feel good, and I have sympathy for it. Why
do you think they stay in that loop?
It's easier.
I think it's
fear.
Fear.
Because like what we spoke about, to go out into the unknown, that's different. We're not trained in that society to take that chance and go out in the unknown. It's calculated risks, and they're not real risks. They're just
and even though, like you said, there's people that are stuck or in these loops that they're not happy in, that they're frustrated in, but there's a comfort in the security of that. They know, even though I can't stand my job, or I hate my relationship, or I hate this, or I hate that, I know that tomorrow this is still going to be the same. Yeah. That even though they hate it, there's a comfort in the fact that this is how it's going to be. Yeah. Now, to say, you know what, I want to change my life. Yeah. I want to break out of this loop. I want something different. It's a huge unknown.
That takes an internal push. And for a lot of people, that internal push doesn't come easy. Most people, that internal push doesn't come easy. That internal push, a lot of times, tends to be a result of trauma. It tends to be a result of something. But wherever that spark comes from, I think that's the foundation of creating the fire that wills you into bending your reality.
But you know what I think? I think maybe not subconsciously, but at some level of your consciousness, you don't want to be there. You don't want to, even though you're afraid to do something about it.
It's not 100% that
you still
100.
Know consciously that you wish, let's say even a wish, that you wish things were different.
Yeah, it's a wish opposed to a need,
so
a
even that
desire.
Is a tinder that you could, like you said, fan into a huge flame to then spark you off to do something about it.
And I think a lot of that comes back to the P where we were talking about patience. You know, if somebody's willing enough to venture into that and take time to fan that fire and just explore and build on it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And before they know it, they're living a life they never thought that they would actually live and just dreamed of, you know? I'm a firm believer. That's why I did this push-up challenge, because it's part of that reprogramming. We can't, like, what we tell ourselves, that the self-talk is very powerful. And a lot of people neglect to understand how powerful words are, especially when you're speaking to and about yourself.
You're right. I do talk to myself way more than I used to. You're 100% right.
That self-talk is deep. Deep.
It's interesting, man. So this year I have chosen to lean into challenges, lean into anything that I normally would be averse to.
Yeah.
I don't see anything now in my life as...
Nothing's hard.
I embrace everything because I know that at the other end of it, I will grow, I will learn, and I will be a sharper blade by going through these challenges. And this is what I was talking about before, about challenging yourself and stuff. You know, I don't feel like people do that anymore.
People don't challenge
People don't
themselves.
Like to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You have
to be uncomfortable.
I've learned that
grow.
the more I'm uncomfortable, on the other side of it, just like dedicating yourself to discipline. You think I'm sure there's days you don't want to get up and run or work out or come in here and put in 5-6 hours in the studio, but you do it. Yeah. And then at the other end of it, you feel great. You feel amazing that you did keep to your word to yourself.
Oh yeah.
And you're logged in another day.
It feeds your discipline. Yeah. And that discipline, once it's set in, it's very hard to shake that. When it's off, it's off. But,
I think that's the thing that
people lack discipline.
Discipline is not something that's
it's not easy for people.
But it's also it's not held in high regard in this society.
Oh yeah, this society is about instant gratification. Instant gratification is the opposition of discipline.
It is. It's actually
literally
the
opposition.
Discipline is about
delayed reward, super delayed. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're in a society, like the whole element of TikTok. I hate harping on TikTok, but it's instant It's an instant gratification machine. It's a dopamine button. Next experience. You could be looking at something laughing. Next one, you're crying. Next one, it's emotional. Next one, it's vain. Like it's just like burning that candle, like in a very unhealthy way. It's weird.
And after 20 minutes, half an hour, 5 hours of that, what have you increased in yourself?
Anxiety. Literally, probably.
You feel worse about yourself because you see all these people that look great or have amazing lives, great
Or
trips.
even outside of all the glorification of
I'm
things,
just saying,
like,
it literally does nothing for
emotions,
you.
it's just too many emotions back to back. Your attention span is shot with that. Like, it'll just get shot. It's weird.
It literally is the brand new crack.
It's crack, yeah.
Because it
Digital
gives you,
crack.
It gives you nothing healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually, and you're left still wanting more.
I feel like with social media, people argue, "Oh yeah, but I get information from social media." Yeah, you'll pick up.
Read a newspaper, bro.
I mean, even outside of that, like you'll pick little things from
read the New York
social media.
Times or whatever the Fox News promotes. I don't know.
I mean, but like,
I'm just saying,
for the information that people
they don't want it
gain
for the
from
news.
that,
You know that's BS, bro.
it's bullshit. But I feel like if somebody wants real information, we have search engines. TikTok is not a search engine by nature. It has a search engine for content, but it's not an information base in itself. Like, no, people aren't citing sources like that on TikTok. You can't even add links in the bio. Like, what? You can't even add links in the description of a post. So it's like there are no sources cited. Everything is off of people's.
Why would they want you to leave that TikTok universe?
Exactly.
Why?
Stay in this universe.
You got to stay in here.
Stay in the matrix.
Racking up our advertising dollars. They would never send you anywhere else.
While giving all your data, giving all your facial data, your keystrokes, everything. The camera stays on. It's wild.
So how do we remedy this then?
We got to get people back into living in real life.
How do we do that?
Therapy. I think people need to heal. I think that's the key. People look for distractions because distractions fit with the archetype that we're talking about. People wanting instant gratification, people not digging deep and finding these distractions that stop them from digging deep and just, put a little band-aid on the bullet wound. I think we just got to address that bullet wound. And that bullet wound is people dealing with trauma, people dealing with their identity, people dealing with the truth that they have a human experience and they need to figure out what their unique human experience is. And I think that can only be done with healing.
Let's be the change that we want to see in the world. Let's do something about it.
Let's do it. I mean, us talking about it right now is healing. Because there's a lot of people who are feeling it right now and they just have no one to talk to about it.
When we met up with Adam and Tunde a few weeks ago, I was thinking a lot about what the four of us or the people in that room
could do.
What we could do together. And I think that there's something here between what you're trying to do with the podcast, the fact that you have a space, the fact that... I don't
try no more, Steve.
What?
I don't try no more.
Oh, sorry. I'll do the push-ups after this.
No. The push-up is if you say try for you. I'm just saying I don't try no more.
You're right.
I'm as part of my reprogramming to notice.
But you know what I'm saying? How do we make a space for people that want to get out but don't know how to? Do you know what I'm saying? We've been able to pop a little bit out of the matrix.
Yes.
So now, how do we now, like Neo, we pulled the freaking plug out of the back of our heads. How do we now jump back in to try to unplug one at a time, or people that are right at the cusp of wanting to
pull them out,
because they need support. That's
do.
the thing. The reason why, how many people
want to, but they just need that extra push.
They'll go into like a social media deleting app. They break up with their boyfriend, or they want to give someone, shut people out, whatever. They delete it. They're back a few weeks, a month. They're right back into the even harder than before.
So I think I believe the key to that is doing what we're doing. But it just has to be on a bigger platform. I think that's the difference.
What about in person, bro?
In person is dope, and in person is always going to be necessary. But if we're talking about unplugging people, I'm thinking averages, right? If there are 50 million people in New York who want to unplug, we're not fitting 50 million people downstairs. But this gives us access to make that beacon.
What I'm saying is exactly. You start with a small group, of course. No, but I'm saying
I think both.
You scale up.
I think both, but I feel like this in particular, what we're doing now, is the key because people are on their phones most of the time anyway. And if we're trying to infiltrate, if we are infiltrating this base and we're pulling out prisoners of this enemy territory that is distractions, the best way to do it is by using the same mediums as the captors. So if we're using devices, we're using technology, then we get that leverage to pull people and then bring them into the physical when we've already unplugged them.
I don't know if I agree with that. It's like saying let's have an AA meeting at the bar.
Okay, I think the equivalent to that is if I said we're talking about this on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like when they catch them in the loop, like nah, but digital. You know what I mean? Because there's somebody in Canada who might feel this. They'll never pull up to an event unless they go buy a ticket.
No,
there might be somebody in Texas.
But what I'm saying is, how does it grow organically? I mean, just of course, I'll always have the frame of reference of the ritual gigs, where it was a physical thing. You had to have a physical ticket. It had to be given to you.
Yeah.
You know, so meaning
physical events and being as physical as possible is another thing.
And it becomes something now that can spread word of mouth, which is the old school way that things spread in a community, in the world, where people got value from something.
No marketing dollars behind it. You either liked it and you expressed it, or you didn't like it and you didn't say anything.
All you say is, let's get a group of people together. Let's have some kind of structured talk, and then leave with a couple of actions and then a follow-up. Personally,
I want to do the ritual things again. I want to bring back ritual, but do it in a different way where it's like we have a set number of people, set that limit, like how we did before, and just keep moving and keep building off of that, because that built very fast.
I know.
I mean, I feel like people, the ones who get things done, they're the change they want to see. But I feel like right now, being as physical as possible while also embracing the future, I think that's the key. To bring people in the... So, okay, you know like binaural beats, right? Binaural beats are a frequency played in the left headphone or left speaker, left whatever, and then the other one is in the right speaker, medium, and that difference is what we're hearing, right? I think the best way to bring people out of the matrix right now are to mix the two worlds, elements of nature and elements of the future, cutting edge future. So a two-pronged attack on the status quo, meaning real events, physical, like real tickets, handmade, in person, real laughs, real energy, but at the same time talking about real things in futuristic technology. That's what I think it is, to bring people into the now, because the now can't be like with the tools of now. Infrastructures are made off of it, so we can't compete with that in particular. There's no need to compete with it.
I was gonna say, maybe it's not about competing.
Exactly.
It's about carving out an alternate lane.
Exactly, and that's why we're kind of like building around that and creating creating kind of like a perimeter where people go, hold on, there's more than me just being in this tower. I'm looking around me and I'm seeing people with these real events. I'm seeing people like embrace these ideas that I'm talking about. There are ways for me to get out, and it's kind of like us jiggling a little bit so the person can shimmy out, you know? So being super real, organic, old school, but also being futurist. I think those are the ways to capture people. Because not everybody's going to take to the futurism. Not everybody's going to take to the physical. But if we do both, we get the people, period. You know?
But I think what you said, it's about being a beacon, meaning it's going to draw the people it's supposed to draw. I don't think it's about trying to get everyone that you can in.
Because it's in the confines of being natural. Like us talking about this, organic. This is a natural flow. And we're not the only ones who are thinking it.
Exactly.
And then with the events, those are always natural. Like the vibe is just natural. So focusing on a future natural and a traditional, organic, grassroots, in person, no digital stuff kind of natural. I think those two ways are together, like the sum of those two equal a key.
I think there's something there. I think it could be like the next level of what we could all do together. Yeah. I was so inspired when we were hanging out. Like,
same.
I was like, man,
it felt good.
These men here in this group that are my peers, I'm like, this is too unique.
Yeah.
For the four of us or the group of us to be together in this moment in time, for this not to translate or transmute into something else.
It felt powerful. It felt powerful
because we
in a spiritual way.
Because it's funny how the connection we had was music, but it was also from the therapy, helping, being of service. And so you know what I mean. So it was kind of like this interesting crossroads that. And it's funny because I just wanted to get us all together because I haven't seen you. I mean, I see you all the time, but I'm saying
everybody together, like. Yeah.
But because I hadn't seen Adam in years, I hadn't seen Tunde in a while, and then it didn't even dawn on me until we're there talking, and there you all talking to each other, it's like how much we had in common. It was like, wow, there's a reason why all of us kind of just reconnected. It's like, how do we bring? And it's funny because we happen to be also talking about the whole red pill, toxic masculinity, Andrew Tate shit. It's like, bro, we could be, because I feel like
actually elevating people.
But I, you know what it is? I feel like just like a lot of men are lost. Yes. Just like a lot of women are lost.
A lot of people are lost.
But I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of men are going down that path because
it's a reaction.
These people are speaking really loud out on social media, really loud out on, YouTubes and all these platforms. And we even talked about it. I said, some of the stuff they say makes sense. I could hear some of them.
They're nuggets of truth, but it's in a lot of nonsense. And it's like, you see how we're pulling people out and we're giving them a hand up? These people are giving them a hand to the side. So they can still see up, but they're being deviated away from the truth that they just need to go upwards. It's manipulation. They're being manipulated and abused by their insecurity, by their need of wanting to do good. And the thing is, too, it's a cycle, because if these people are misguided, we know they have good intentions. They just want to be a better person. Now they're spewing some truth and regurgitating some fallacy. That fallacy brings people to have, rejection to them. Now they feel the need to double down and go deeper and deeper and deeper. And now they have deep-rooted truths and deep-rooted issues and fallacies. That's messed up. And we're not, you know what I mean? We're not on that. And we can spot it because we can look at it and go, okay, this is actual garbage, what they're talking about. This is drill.
Yeah, so exactly. So why not be the antithesis to that? Why not give an alternative? Why not be?
We gotta do it on a
why
scale.
Why not? And I'll give you an example. Like today, I went to this training that was amazing, and I met this guy who was there, and we just started having a conversation, and I'm like, oh, a lot of the people that were in this training were like social workers, they had some kind of therapeutic background, and I'm like, oh, do you come from that field too? He's like, no. He's like, I actually work in film.
Oh.
And he's like, I work in film, and I work in.
What was the training about?
It's to be a volunteer child advocate. For detained immigrant children.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff.
Steve, you're always on some deep social.
I wasn't even sure if I was going to say. Yeah, no.
That's wow. That's beautiful.
I said to myself, if I'm going to be about this life, I got to be about it.
That's being about it, because you're going to help so many people who are genuinely lost in a system that doesn't give a fuck if they're found.
Yeah, it's pretty
straight up.
It's pretty intense.
That's deep.
So I started having a conversation with him, and then he starts telling me that he comes from the film industry and doing film and this and that, and he has no training in this, but he had a need to want to help and stuff. And it's funny, and then we're talking about it, and we're just talking about how of course in this group we were one of 3 guys.
Wow.
And 95% of the people there were female, which is what you would expect. Women naturally will want to be
nurture,
more of service, helping, social work. I mean, I went to social work school. I got my master's in social work, and I was 98% of social work students are women. You know what I mean? So, and it's funny because he's like, why do you think that is? Why are there no other men here? And I'm like, it's a cultural thing. Some might say it's even biological. Women are social creatures. And when we were cavemen, men were going out there to hunt and gather, and the women had to stay behind and figure out how to get along with the other women, raise the kids, keep the cave, together.
Functioning,
you know what I mean? So they had to naturally adapt how to be social creatures, while men weren't. And then we happened to also, we were heavily Latino there, and in Latin culture, men don't even, helping people, social work, therapists, what, So it was interesting how, this is completely aside from what we're talking about, but there are guys out there that are trying to do their part, their best, and they have no voice.
Yeah.
Because right now, the loudest dogs barking are these ones that are getting the attention of everyone. Why? Because they get reaction. Yeah. They get reaction from regular people, from women, from feminists, from anyone, because they say crazy sideways shit. So the actual guys that are like we're talking about, like us, and even people that you can meet out there that are trying to find a way to do good, to do, be helpful, be of service, be kind, be compassionate, they get completely lost. They feel like they're islands out there. You know what I mean? So it's like, why not create a space where these people we can find each other, and not just men. I'm just saying.
No, but I know what you mean.
As far as my particular experience today.
Go ahead.
So. Because there are a lot of people out there that want something like this. Yeah. It's just that there isn't.
I want to come back to that question that you asked me. What can be done for us to be that beacon, essentially?
Yeah, man. You know me, bro. As soon as we're talking about it, I'm already thinking about how do we bring this to life.
So to build on top of the idea that I was mentioning of that two-pronged approach, right? Us having in real life events that are experiences, yeah, and like these 360 podcasts and whatever futuristic technology, and us talking about these things. I think to build upon that, the key is the consistency, because regardless of how loud somebody is, we have quality, and that when that quality meets quantity, it will overwhelm the voices. So as long as we're on our A game and we stay on our A game and keep pushing our A game, once somebody gets a drop, they'll realize there's a whole ocean waiting for them.
Can I propose a challenge to you?
Hell yeah. What's up?
Let's pick a date.
Next event?
Let's do on the spring equinox. When
is that? Spring equinox?
I think it's probably March 20th. Look, just as we're talking about that, the light blew out.
I'm going to put that back on. It's a little timer.
Oh, it's a timer? Well, look at that, right on time.
Sure it doesn't overheat.
I'm just saying, if we pick a date, then we're, like you said, about speaking things into existence. I'm
just going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah. We actually both have to been gone to a place like half an hour ago.
Yeah.
But yo.
Okay, so let's pick a date. You said, when is the equinox? You said March something?
March 20th, no? Isn't that when spring starts?
I'm bad with dates. March 20th.
I don't even know what day of the week it is.
Daylight savings is the 12th. St. Patty is 17th. No.
The 20th, that's spring. The first day of spring is the 20th or the 21st, right?
So first event, March 20th.
What day of the week is that?
Monday. Let's do like 18.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah. We don't know what it's going to be, but let's put something together, man. I guess it's a wonderful thing that you have this platform, because now we kind of have it on wax, so to speak.
I'm writing it down as 1166 community experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a calendar invite too.
Yeah, we could figure out what it is. I would definitely love to bring Adam and Tunde into the mix.
Yes.
And see how we could put together a program. We could have music, we could have an experience, but I definitely want it to be an experience like we've never had before. You know what I mean?
I feel like everything that we've done up to this point, they're not like tests, but they're elements that we can use. Kind of like how we were talking about sketches earlier.
Yeah.
They were, to a degree, sketches for us to get to this point, right? And honestly, I feel like this can be something that'll impact a lot. That's the name of the game, right?
But I think
influence.
It also plays into what you're doing with this podcast right now.
Yeah.
It's fantastic what you're doing. You're pushing the medium. You're pushing the technology, but you're also pushing the spirit. You're pushing the content. You're pushing what you're talking about, the people you're talking to. So I feel like maybe the next part of this evolution is
live.
It's something where people can connect with this, because this is going to grow. Everything you do grows, takes wings, takes flight, and starts to snowball and go bigger. Yeah. So it's
a responsibility, because a lot of people, they'll grow, and the more something grows, the more powerful it becomes. The more powerful something becomes, the more responsibility it has.
Yeah, but you're not afraid of responsibility.
I'm not afraid.
That's what I'm saying. So
my heart is set up the way it is, but my brain It's set up the way it is.
The only thing you might be guilty of is having way so much on your plate that you are spread so thin that it's
workaholic,
hard.
But I've learned to manage that pretty well over the years. That's my advice. I'm giving all y'all my kryptonite right now. Workaholism.
I'm half teasing you, brother. But
me too. I'm half teasing myself.
What I'm saying is, let's be fearless, man. Let's do something. You're already doing revolutionary things.
But how about this, right? Let's make an accountability thing on wax, right? So March 18th is the day of the event. Every week, at least one time slot out the week, let's like map more of this out.
Yeah.
Because even before the event, obviously we got to be organized, but the more we talk about it, the more it'll materialize. And the more it materializes, the more we can implement. The more we can implement, the more people we can help. The more people we can help, the bigger this thing grows. The bigger it grows, the sooner the masses unplug from the matrix. And, you know, I feel like that's what we're here to do, to help people. Because it will make sense to us as it makes sense to people.
I think that's what we're gonna do, man.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about being your friend, being your partner, being your brother is that I don't know where the hell this is gonna go.
It's gonna be lit,
but
though.
I know that if you and I doing it, it's gonna be unbelievable.
Yeah,
and we say this every time we walk into the studio, or I come through, or we pull up. We don't know what we're gonna do.
It proves to be true though. Every
time.
single time, it ends up being something lit.
I just know that when you and I come together,
it's true.
There's always magic in the room.
Yeah.
The universe is always allowing us a little peek into its infinite beauty, and we're able to bottle something. We might not finish it all the time, or sometimes, like you said, it ends up being a sketch, but something always comes through.
We can't complain about because it still allowed us to do what it needs to do. It allowed us to see the other side of whatever we needed. And so I'm very appreciative of it.
You know, so that's why, like, you know, any endeavor with you is always fearless, because I know that we could take that leap, and you and I we're gonna soar. Find an amazing new way to interact, to connect, to draw community. And I'll be honest, I was thinking about that the other day. Actually, inspired listening to you and Adam speak.
Yeah.
How much I miss that community.
Yeah.
I miss that community. I'm not gonna lie.
In the midst of the interview, it made me think about it. It made me think because
I'm like, why don't we have that? I want that in my life again.
You know what it is?
In a different way.
So after the talk with Adam, I sat down and I thought about it more. And it's like even before the talk with him, I thought about it. But after having to address it now, 2023 and everything, I came to understand that what was necessary, because that's the early phases of it. Without what 1166 started as, there would be no way to evolve and change. But now it goes with the philosophy that I keep bringing up time and time again: reforging the iron of the hammer into the sword.
Yeah,
it needs to be reforged. The steel that went to make this blunt weapon, the metal, must be put down into a sharp point to cut through all the BS.
And it's funny how I feel like it flows naturally from this next evolutionary step you're going in.
It has to. If it's not flowing naturally, it's an abomination.
And it's funny how we work. Like, we work by inspiring each other. Like, you'll be doing something like you're doing now with your podcast and your you know, sonic, you know, films, and it'll inspire me to like be like, hey, but we could also add this, or maybe we could try this, and then I'm able to kind of jump into the mix and figure out how I can also be part of it.
That's part of the formula, though. Every that ping pong of ideas is beautiful, because the things that you'll come up with will supplement what I'm doing, and vice versa. The things that I'll come up with will supplement what you're doing. That's the beauty of it. And I feel like what you said is true with Tunde and with Adam. Like, we could do some stuff. We need to. We will.
There's
March 18th.
There's a reason why those beings came into that Buddhist museum that day. It sounds like the start of a bad joke, right?
Right.
but I was just marveled how I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is too special. These human beings are too special to not have us mixing it up doing something, and it doesn't have to be, I know everyone's time constraint, whatever, is different.
We can work within time constraints.
But that's what I'm saying.
So that's not like a thing.
But there's a way. There's a way of doing something that fits for everyone. But it's about the energy, man.
Yes, it has to be about the energy.
Was such a rare combination that it can't be for no reason.
Yeah.
And that's what I would love to tap into and just evolve it and expand it out, because I know that, like we were talking about, there's many more people that are on that wavelength that would love to have a space to be able to. They just
need the opportunity
to connect, to express, to bring their information, to bring their skills and their tools. For me, that's what I'm about. I'm about sharing information and getting information.
Of course.
So how do we create a space where now all of us can be not just giving, but also receiving?
It's definitely in bridging the natural and the digital for the good. So part of why I made like the 1166 Discord with all sorts of different channels for like 3D artists and musicians and gamers and people in crypto and trading and a whole mental health section is it's all in this community thing, because the community, yes, it'll be maintained, founded, relationships will be formed in person, but the digital is where we get to hold that. We get to hold that and keep each other like knit, keep each other on point, because Rona has shown us. It's shown us that things happen, infrastructure can be dissolved, but if we have everybody connected in more than one way, we can maintain connection and hold on to each other through a storm and be fine.
Yeah. Look, I think like, not to keep going back to that moment, but we hadn't seen Adam in what, 3-4 years?
It was good to see.
5 years?
5 years, maybe.
Bro, it didn't feel like a second since I've seen that guy.
It was just catching up.
The minute we all were in the same space again, it's like I just saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's rare.
Yeah, it is.
It's and I've learned that I need to embrace and celebrate and acknowledge those rare human beings I have in my life, and find a way to have them more in my life as much as I can, because that's, I guess,
the best thing. People are so used to having people in their lives who take, but it's like to be a giver, be around givers, and actively giving with these givers. All that giving. That's what I'm saying.
All of us we're all of that frequency, which is so rare.
What's that saying? Show me your closest friends, and I'll tell you who you are.
There you go. Wow.
So if the people we're closest to and we actively spend the most time around are on like a proper type of time of helping people and being a steward and creating and thinking in the future, it's gonna leak into other parts of our own lives, and it will compound. It will. It always does. It's just how things work.
Yep. So, well, I think that's
March 18th. I keep saying it. March 18th.
Yeah, man. 3/18/23.
3/18/23.
Did some kind of...
what's crazy?
What?
I found it.
What?
Initially, 1166 was made March 2017. 2017.
What was the date?
It was... I got the LLC thing like earlier in the month, but...
Was it the 18th?
It wasn't the 18th, but it was March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it's like it could be a
going
celebration.
Into this month. Yeah, it's like a new birthday of 1166, but it's a new chapter of it as well.
Yeah, I always find funny when people are like, "Oh, I hate birthdays." I'm like, how can you not want to celebrate another 365 that you got around this world? It's like, I'm like, would you rather the alternative?
Right? Do you want to? I feel like people who hate their birthday, like actually hate their birthdays, just haven't found something that they just need to appreciate more. Because even on my birthday, people say, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I'm just gonna help people and vibe."
No, it's not about celebrating your birthday. Like it's about like people that say that they hate because they hate getting older. They don't want to turn.
But you gotta be grateful. Like
it's like, are you kidding me?
I feel like
it's the most beautiful thing.
For people who hate their birthday, it's like you just hate what you did with your life,
or maybe it's what you haven't done.
Exactly, you hate what you have or haven't done.
Because when you're moving towards what's meant for you, you are
time
so
is
blessed that you have another year to get it, to get at it, to get further. Every year,
it could be the regret. It's regret.
I think so.
For what was done and what can't be done, and what wasn't done. It's regret.
It's like I'm not where I want to be, or there's so many things I haven't done yet, and time is passing me.
Yeah.
So then reframe it. Be like, this now.
I'm still here. I made it through disease.
I have another year to push through and get closer to where I want to be.
Yes.
Dude, it's unbelievable how it really is like waking up. Like when you shift your perspective of life, everything changes.
Perspective is everything.
That's it. Like literally, my perspective is 180 from what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like a brand new human being. It's insane.
That internal talk is key. We cannot change the external without changing the internal. And a lot of people just have their internal calibrated wrong. They're letting society calibrate their internal. And society, like the masses right now, no. That's going to throw off your calibration.
You know what it is? I think, number one, people are stuck in loops.
Yeah.
And number two is...
negative loops, too.
Yeah, always negative loops. Number two is they need to have an alternative.
I think they need habits.
But I'm saying, what we're talking about, this talk, if we're talking about doing something in person, now there's an alternative. Yeah. Now someone that knows that they are stuck, they come, they hear, they feel.
They know they're not alone. They know they're not crazy. Now they're validated.
Connect.
They go, oh.
Now they have a space to be able to help try to figure out how they could now progress or integrate some of that information into their own lives.
Yeah.
They come back the next month, some more progress. 6 months from now they are at the same level that we are. Mm-hmm. And now they're able to now pass that on to other people. Yeah. Think about how many lives we'd be changing that if we're able to just keep bringing people in. To me, it's not about right or wrong. I got no answers. I can just share my information for what I've been able to do.
Right or wrong is a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
But I personally feel that just uplifting people to do good to others is just objectively good for society. Yeah. Do good to others. Do good to your planet. Just breathe.
Exactly.
Breathe goodness in the sense of positive output for humanity, positive output for the planet, and positive output for yourself. Wherever that Venn diagram takes you, that center point, just keep doing that. And as long as we're pushing that and having people reproduce that, we're going to just create this garden, recreate a garden in a scorched field. You know?
It's got to start somewhere, right?
Starts from within. Us doing what we do every day, aiming to be better people and acting on it, I think is the start of everything. That's the origin point. So.
And now we're going to try to form the Avengers.
Yep. We're not trying. We're going to form the Avengers.
Sorry.
Ain't
no try.
We are
forming the Avengers. The Avengers of the next wave of consciousness.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to share it, not hoard it. So come through, people.
Hell yeah. March 18th, 1166.
We want to vibe with you. We want to hear your stories.
Oh, yes.
We want to learn information from you.
It's a conversation.
We want to see where you're at. Mm-hmm. Why you're stuck. What happened that got you in your loop? Yeah. And let's break out together. Let's move on. Let's take another step together on that path, on that journey towards being our most optimal self.
It's funny. I was talking about this with Adam.
See, you see what I'm saying? Like, dude, we're all cut from the same cloth. It's hilarious, man.
I was talking with this dude, with Adam, right? And Adam was saying how as a therapist, he may have the answer for somebody, but you can't say, like, the person needs to find their answer. And it kind of goes without saying, if we're listening to people, hearing them out, we may not have their answer, but they have their answer.
Yep.
And in talking to another person, you can find your own answer.
Absolutely. That's
and
all.
It'll be a resolving answer, like an answer that gives you real results.
By the way, for all those listening or watching that are skeptical about therapy, that's all therapy is.
Yeah.
Therapists don't give you an answer. Yeah. They literally hold the mirror to you so you can find the jewels and the answers that are already inside of you.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people have a negative method of dealing with something just put in front of them, and they just go for what they know, go for whatever's closest, and it just so happens to be that there was just this thing. So unless we help somebody to see what you said, an alternative, they never know. But, you know, everybody who's taking the time to do that internal work, to find their own truth and find how they can contribute to just overall progress, optimization of humanity and the world, they'll find the truth. We're just here to help facilitate that progressional step for them.
Yeah, man.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And the
it's
funny
good
thing,
work.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's funny, at least for me, we've been doing this with each other our whole relationship.
Facts.
We always sit, we talk, we give each other feedback. You know, we are able to channel some of this into music, which is an added bonus.
Hell yeah!
And
Next time we gotta cook up too.
in our relationship, but we've always been able to help each other along this path. And it's never been, like you said, exactly. It's not about giving anyone the answers. It's just about feedback. And like you said, being a support, knowing that, you know, if something's up, we could chat about it with each other, talk about it with each other. And then, you know, you feel better. You feel clarity. You feel sometimes, like you said, the answers are inside of you. Yeah. But sometimes you need to hear yourself speak it and bounce back the feedback from someone else that you trust and that holds the space for you to be able to, that's what I probably should do. That's I should move this way, or I should try that. You know, and I think being able to be that for each other and other people, you know, how do we expand that out? And I think that's what you're doing already naturally, you know, by doing this, and then figure out other ways, and then bring in other homies that also are kind of on a similar path, and be like, let's band together, kind of like in a musical sense, which is what we did originally. But now this is a different kind of.
It's
sense.
A life. It's
you know,
it's deeper. Like doing music, it's the most natural, but also the easiest for us, because that's how we identify, and that's how a lot of people who are involved in 1166 identify. But we have to take it a step further, because music represents something. Art represents something. Culture represents something to people, and it all goes back into what makes us human. And that's really what we need to focus on: the root, our humanity, and how it's shifting. Like, what elements of humanity in the past were needed that are gone now? What elements were present before but are now obsolete? And just navigating through that together.
Yeah.
And collectively seeing how we can best fit now and fit for the future.
I think that's the word, man. Together. I think as a man, shit could get very lonely, man.
Facts.
You really sometimes feel like, because as a man, it's seen as weak, as not manly to turn to others for help, you know? And that's such a, like, I love the word you said, fallacy, because we all need help, man. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You could be the biggest, strongest dude,
they'll still cry.
But you still need help, bro.
Down,
we all need help. It's all, and you know what? It doesn't make you any less of a man or weak or not as strong. It makes you stronger. When you're able to show vulnerability, that takes a lot more strength, man, than to put on a posture or to fake like it's all good. Nah, man, to be vulnerable is so much harder.
It is.
And
that's why a lot of people in music, they don't dig. A lot of people, art doesn't dig. And we spoke about this the other day.
All the time.
Like that vulnerability is a strength. That vulnerability is what gives that edge. The vulnerability makes it relatable. Exactly. That vulnerability is that cord. That emotional cord that connects with people. Yeah. This is a deep ass talk.
What's that?
This is a deep ass talk.
Let's connect March 18th, y'all.
Oh yeah, March 18th.
And by the way, we had to gotten out here, but when you and I get together, see, even
like
if it's not making the music, it's here. In this case, it's the chat.
It's the creation. When we create, it's just
you knew we couldn't go just 20 minutes.
I mean,
we tried. We're like, 20 minutes. It's like,
it's a lot of 20s. It's multiple 20s.
No, it's fine. But I'm saying it's beautiful, man. Whenever we cook up in any form, we always have to come out with something, man.
It's always something, and this is another thing. And it's episode 7. That's a nice number.
7 is a godly number, bro.
It's a godly number. This is the beginning of something. March 18th. Every week, let's map it out to do better.
Yeah, let's. And the best is, I can't wait to send Adam this podcast.
He's gonna be hyped.
Because
he sent
you guys. He sent me your guys' podcast, and then I'm gonna send him our podcast and be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're doing this thing with us on March 18th."
He's gonna be like, "You guys."
Yeah, bro. Listen,
I still got to do episodes 5 and 6, so this is actually gonna be near March 18th.
That's cool.
By the time this releases,
but that's fire, because I even told him, I'm like, yo, when he sent me you guys' podcast, I was like, bro, that inspired me to like make music and this and that.
This is gonna come out March 3rd.
That's cool. That's
This is gonna come out March 3rd. That's
3/3/23.
3/3/23 is when this is gonna come out.
Episode 7 comes on 3/3/23.
Yep. Episode 7, 3/3/23.
This, I'm sure there's some numerology. I don't even
3/3/23.
I'm never surprised about the way things work out, because it's just how they're meant to be.
That's how it is. Yeah.
All right, Zen. We good?
I'm gonna get us out of here. It's 1166 podcast. Steve, thank you. I mean, you're not on social media like that, but is there anything you want to like tell the people, like how to get in touch with you or anything? I mean, we got music we working on and all that, so y'all gotta hear Steve.
You guys will find me again when it's time. I'm not worried. I'm not pressed.
That was fire. It's 1166 podcast, episode 7. If you haven't already, I don't even be saying it in the videos, but if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment. You know, if you're listening to this on any podcasting streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, whatever, give us 5 stars. If you feel less, whatever, but whatever it is, just be real about it. Appreciate y'all. We sending you nothing but positive energy and love to y'all. Have an amazing rest of your day. Latest. Let me go.